Hi, I'm a queer teen, and more specifically transgender and bisexual, if you can see the flag behind me, and I do have the trans flag there, but it's a little bit harder to see. I wanted to answer some of Reddit's most asked queer questions, so I've opened up Reddit and I've got a few things to look at. What's a question you've always wanted to ask a gay person? So this is just on r/ask Reddit. Are you your type? Would you date yourself? I don't know. Like, obviously, I'm 16. So, obviously my answer's going to be a little bit different than most people. But I feel like I would, if that makes sense. Like, I would, but I wouldn't. Like, I like my personality, I guess. And I'm a lot more myself than I used to be. But also at the same time, I don't know if I would date myself. Because, like, I'm kind of insecure, if that makes sense. I don't know. Some of the answers on here are sort of similar. It's like, hell no, I wouldn't date myself. My type is taller than me. I'm not my type, but I do feel like I have an advantage, so to speak, that I would make myself look more attractive. That I would know what to do to make myself look more attractive. Yeah. My type is someone who breathes and has a heartbeat. Same, bro, same. Do you call your other gay friends straight when they do non-gay things? Like, Frank, why are you wearing jeans and t-shirt instead of an orange mesh top and arseless chaps? That's fucking straight. I don't do that, but I do the reverse. Like, me and my friends were all raging homosexuals. Me and my friends are all queer, and I'll be like, that's kind of gay. Like, I do it on the podcast too, if you guys have seen the podcast. If not, go check it out, called Queer Teen Talks. It's on this YouTube channel as well. Just in its own little playlist under podcasts. But I do it a lot, and it's kind of just like, just normal to me now. It's like one of them will say something, and I'll be like, that's kind of gay, bro. How do you come out to your friends/family? That's a family/friend, sorry. That's a good one, actually, because I didn't really get a proper chance to come out. Like, I came out to my extended family on Facebook. And I was 15, so last year. Yeah, 15. I just turned 16. Just turned 15. I was 14. Obviously, that's how numbers work. But I didn't get to come out to my dad, so my principal outed me when I think I just turned 15. Like, I think I was fresh on 15. And I was outed. Oh, I don't know, actually. I might have been 14. But he outed me to my dad. I was way too young. But before that, because I thought I was non-binary, which is a common stepping stone for trans people, which is why non-binary people are dismissed so often, which sucks. But I came out to my dad, and he kind of just shut me down and went, no, you're not, which obviously it's not right for people to do that, but it's also a lack of education and understanding as well. So, yeah. And then got outed to him, and he was pretty supportive. Like, he's been pretty supportive of me ever since, which, that's a story for another day. No, but everybody comes out differently. I've seen people come out with memes and songs. I've seen people come out through social media. I've seen people come out by accidentally outing themselves. I feel like if I didn't get outed, I probably wouldn't have come out when I did. And I wouldn't be this far into my transition. Like, I had cut my hair off before that. So all my hair was gone. I still had a trans flag up behind my door, hidden, when I came out. And I was terrified my dad finding out. But I went to, like, all the pride events and stuff. But, yeah. Is the stereotypical gay accent, voice, lisp that you hear some gay guys have voluntary, or is it something they do without realising? I don't know. I mean, I have an Aussie accent. It's very obvious. It's a bit more of a posh Aussie accent, to be honest. But it's still kind of bogany. But I don't think I have an accent that I use. I definitely have a social media voice, like what you guys are hearing. And then I've got, like, my more chill, like, persona, I guess. But I don't actually know. I don't think I've ever really heard anybody with it. Like, ignoring your desires in a partner, if it were a choice, would you prefer to still be a man or have been born a woman? So I'm bi, so it's kind of different, and I'm also trans, so once again kind of different. honestly, if I had to choose between, I'm so tired. I had to drive to Dad drove to Sydney though. No, if I had to choose between being born cis and being trans, I probably would choose trans, because I didn't really understand as much, sort of, like, the struggles and stuff until I came out, until I realised how much hate the trans community got. Like, I had a lot of internalised homophobia for a long time. How did you find out? Do you ever feel like you would like it? So this is more specifically targeted for gay guys, but this could be anything. How did I find out I was gay? It's a great question. Social media. And as bad as that sounds, it makes a bit more sense. So I figured out I was bi when I figured out I was somewhere under the queer category when I was 12 or 11 or something, like quite young. I was watching YouTube shorts one day after school, and I scrolled through and I found one, and I cannot remember the creator, or I haven't been able to find it since, but it was pretty much saying that you can be bi with a preference for something. I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I did more research that night, like Nick Nelson style, like doing the "Are you gay?" quizzes, shit like that, and I sort of figured out by the end of that I was somewhere that I liked somewhat women, and something clicked in my head, because I think my first female crush that I 100% know now that was a female crush, I'm not going to say her name because that's fucked up, but it was like first day of year 7, like orientation day, and I went in and I was like, I want to be best friends with her, and I actually ended up becoming friends with her like 6 months later. I was like, okay, I'm still not satisfied, maybe I want to be like closer friends, and then we became closer friends, and then I realised I like women, and I was like, oh, wait a second, I think I know what I meant. And then I ended up dating a different person, and then the one who I originally had a crush on was a complete homophobe and complete jerk. But that's another story for another day. Also, all of my friends were gay. I feel like this is a common thing too, with queer people gravitating towards more queer people, and I didn't choose them because they were queer, if that makes sense. Like, I kind of just became friends with them, and I was like, yeah, cool, we're friends now. And then I figured out that I was gay, like, a bit later, and I was like, oh, okay then. Why am I gay? Great question. Titties. Straight people Reddit. What potentially inappropriate question do you have that you've always wanted to ask gay people but you were too afraid to ask? Do you ever hate yourself because of it? Honestly, I've had days, and I feel like most queer people can say this. You have days where you kind of just wish you were straight, wish you were cis, etc. Like, you wish you could just be like everyone else and normal, but that's not how that works. But most of the time I'm pretty happy with and I've become pretty sort of happy with my identity. You know, there's always further that I could go with my gender and stuff, but sexuality-wise, I've been pretty secure with that for years. Why don't you throw Skittles at weddings instead of rice? What are the comments? Because Skittles replaced a lime-flavoured Skittle with green apple. Honestly, I didn't really like the lime flavour. I like green apple better. Is that bad? No, like, I feel like that'd be all. Like, anybody I get married to, any future partners listening, we're throwing Skittles at the wedding. Are there straight jokes? Straight people use jokes about being gay all the time, especially guys. I mean, not... kind of. Like, I don't know, I've never really heard any straight jokes, but, like, I've definitely heard a lot of gay jokes, and I've made a lot of gay jokes. It's half what my podcast is, because it's just, like, it's not bad either, if that makes sense. I don't know. Do you think it's funny that I first thought LGBT was LBGT, which I thought stood for Let's Be Gay Together? That's awesome. That is like the, you know, the sandwich, like the BLT sandwich, it's like that, but it's just let's be gay together. I'm telling my friends that after this recording. Do you get double pleasure from jerking off because you're touching a dick? Next question. Oh god. So who's the man? Like, I know you're both men, but who's the man in the relationship? That's not how that works. Since being gay causes all kinds of natural disasters, do you ever worry about being weaponized by the government to be sent out to the countries we're fighting with? I'm confused. I fucking... You know what? Screw you, homophobes. Tornado. Oh god, no, because it was just a tornado in America, wasn't there? I'm surprised I've gone this long without getting cancelled. I've been on the internet since I was like 13. How have I think I was younger than that, actually. Ew, I've been doing YouTube for like 4 years, on and off. But still, yuck. That's gross. That's old, bro. You know what? We're gonna search one. Questions for trans people. I don't know how words work. My hair is so fucked. I gotta clean it. I gotta wash it, was the word I was looking for. Genuine question for trans people. What do you do for a living? Good question. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm 16, once again, I'm gonna be the same answer. But what I want to do, I want to be a musician. Because I've loved music since I was a kid, even before I knew I was trans. And I've been writing songs for sort of years now. Ew. Seriously writing songs for like about a year now, but like I've been writing on and off for a few years now. And got back into my Discord days. But I also try to do like sort of, yeah, this shit. Social media and things like that. And yeah, that's kind of what I want to do for a living. If someone cis dresses up as the opposite sex for Halloween, is that offensive to trans people? No. I mean, I've seen trans people dress up as the opposite sex for Halloween and stuff. Like, have I dressed up as... I don't think I have, actually. I mean, technically I dressed up as my childhood self, but like, that doesn't count. That was this year's costume. I'll add a photo here. That was 2. I only have 1 photo. I might have more than 1 photo. I don't know. I guess you guys will see posted it. Yeah, no, but it's not... Same as drag. Drag queens and stuff aren't usually trans. Why does it seem there are so many more male to female trans people than female to male? Is it actually the case, or do we just hear one more about the other more about one than the other for some reason? I think we just hear more about... I mean, I don't know. I've definitely met more female to male than I have male to female. But also, that's more just because that's just my friend group. Like, I think I've met 2 male to female in my, like, since I've sort of known, I guess, and that have, like, come out to me and stuff. I've definitely met a few male to non-binary. But I think it's just we hear about them more because it's like social media is like, oh, they're going to be stalking our kids in the girls' bathrooms. Like, that's not how that works. So I think it's more just a matter of we hear about them more. So rather than like, yeah, rather than female to male. Because in the perspective of these transphobes, they're seeing a bunch of males going, I've got blue tack, of going into girls' bathrooms and stalking women, whereas the opposite way around, you just see a bunch of confused girls going into the boys' bathroom or the male bathroom, and you know, it doesn't pose as much of a threat, and I'm putting this heavy quotation marks here, but they don't see as much of a threat with female to male, if that makes sense. My hair is not agreeing with me, and it does not help that this is flipped, so when I try and look into my OBS, it just doesn't work. How do you know for sure that you were trans? Was it like a gradual thing leading up to when you realised, or was it more of a you always kind of knew thing? Yeah, I don't know, like, how did I know? I always hated being called a girl, and I've always, even since I was a kid, hated wearing, like, girls' clothes and stuff. Like, a lot of my childhood photos are me in boxer shorts and oversized t-shirts. And I was always shirtless as well. Like, and I'll probably post a few pictures on here as well. But even if you go and look at my TikTok and stuff, like, a lot of the photos I post are of, like, childhood me are shirtless. And, or, like, with oversized tees and boxer shorts on. Not boxer, border shorts. So, like, swim shorts. And that was kind of it. But, like, I guess I kind of, like, I didn't really know that I was trans. Like, I thought maybe I'm non-binary. And I tried that out for a few years, and it fit, but it felt off. It's like if you've got... This is how I describe being trans and, like, queer in general, to a lot of people, like, a lot of cis people who just don't understand. It's like when you wear a t-shirt or an item of clothing, and it just doesn't feel right, and you can't tell it's off. And in this metaphor, when I came out as non-binary, when I sort of started testing that out and testing the waters on that, I felt... It felt like it was the right size, but not the right cut. Like, it was the right size t-shirt, but it just wasn't the right cut of t-shirt for me, if that makes sense. Like, same thing. And then I kind of just, like... I met a bunch of trans people, and I started doing more research. And the reason I didn't want to come out fully as trans mask or a trans man was because I was scared, I guess, like, because I was like, oh no, there's no way, and I felt, like, guilty almost, and, because a lot of the media was focusing on the bad things being trans as well, and then I kind of just owned up to it, and I was like, yeah, probably am, let's be honest here, which I was going through a lot at the time as well, which, once again, I'm not going to go on about today. That is another video, another time. Questions from a cis female, sure. Let's have a look. I can't read. Hi everyone, I'm new here. I haven't read this before, so this might get cut out. Hi everyone, I'm new here. I just want to ask some questions I had about transgender people. I've been trying to educate myself on trans people and have found it a bit confusing. Everything seems to have a political alignment. I hope I don't offend anyone by saying that. Personally, I have no issue with transgender people, and I just want to understand some of the science about it, especially since there's such political uproar for gender confirming care right now. Yep, so they just said here, I want to apologise in advance for any of my questions or language come off as offensive. It is not my intention to offend anyone, and please correct me if there is a proper way to address something. If you have studies or books or podcasts that you recommend about, please share them. I would prefer they have politically neutral, but that's okay if they aren't. Right, so just going to put that, don't go after this person. I'm going to be blurring their name, obviously, because I'm not a dick. If something happens to a transgender person and they are taken to the hospital, do they have to indicate their gender at birth? When trans people see doctors, do they provide that information? Obviously different for different countries, different people, different trans, like, if they're medically transitioned, if they're socially transitioned, etc. But if, let's say, in this instance, it's in Australia, because I know the most about that sort of stuff, and it's me. I'm not medically transitioned, I'm socially transitioned, and I go by a different name, but my legal name is still on my license. So I have a license. Typically, let's say I'm unresponsive for the reason I've gone to the hospital, and nobody is there to help me, and I've just been found. They would probably find out my sex, because I would either be wearing a binder or a bra, and it's pretty obvious even without that. And they would see my license saying I had my wallet on me. And if I didn't have my wallet on me, they'd probably find out anyway. Let's say I had somebody with me and they keep going, J, J, J. That person would probably have to say for me, there, assign this at birth. Let's say I'm responsive, but I have to go in there anyway, I would still have to provide that information. But let's say, for another one, if they are completely, hang on, my phone just turned on. If they are medically transitioned, if they have had both surgeries, so top and bottom, and their license and everything's changed, they might still have to indicate that they are, depending on what procedure, such what's wrong. But let's say it's like some weird rash, you probably wouldn't, unless you use like tea gel or something, and it might be giving you irritation. So it really just depends, I guess. For the saying that we were born this way, there's some sort of genetic component in DNA for trans people. I don't know. Yeah, I genuinely don't know. I've read many underage minors who identify as trans regret transitioning when they become older and identify as gay. Is there any truth to these studies? one of my favourite facts and one of my favourite statistics is there are more people with Harry Potter tattoos that regret them than there are trans people who regret being trans and regret transitioning. It's just my favourite statistic ever. Because it's like, bro, like, come on. No, but there is some truth to these studies that there are people who regret transitioning for whatever reason. A lot of the reason people do detransition, and I'm not saying it's the only reason, there are lots of other reasons, but a bigger reason that people detransition, is because of the, like, shit around it. Whether it's transphobia from their family or from people around them or their workspaces and even just their country. So, yeah. This is probably a question that has different individual answers, but if you're a transgender person, do you feel as though you were kind of stuck in the middle by identifying as trans? For example, if you're born male but you identify as female, do you feel like you're kind of stuck by identifying as a trans woman rather than just a woman? Okay, well, I'm trans male, born female, obviously. It does feel kind of shitty sometimes, especially because I'm not on T. I don't have any sort of medical transition. It's like, whenever I meet other males, a lot of the time they don't see me as a male, they see me as just, a trans guy. And I'm always going to have that trans stuck in the front, or at least for a long time. So, yeah, I guess kind of, but not really. So, this is actually the whole reason I found this video idea. How do you ask someone if they are queer/lesbian without offending them? What is the best approach for this? Is there a favourite question line technique you like? I'm one of those people who can never tell which is which, especially the more femme ones. Yeah, I mean, kind of, like, there's a lot of different ways to ask, but it's honestly one of my favourite guessing games. So obviously you've got the stereotypes, like, wearing a carabiner clip or wearing cargos, but that's not always going to help you. Like, my best technique has just been going to queer events and just guessing. Sometimes I wear flags, it's very helpful. No, but, like, some of these people saying, to just open up about yourself. Like, hey, I'm Jay, I'm bi, and I go by these pronouns. Yeah. Who are you? Like, some people are saying that they'd rather be faced with a direct, are you queer? And some people are like, no, I hate that. Why would you be like that? I feel like I'd rather people just say to my face, are you some flavour of gay? Like, back in, this is 2023, so last year, my friends and I were at this, like, queer, like, something for our school. It was, like, Idaho Day or something, and we went up to this little group of kids, and we went, what flavour of gay are you? And that's how we became friends with these guys. They were, I think, a year younger than us. They're in the club that my friends run at school now. So, which I'm not going to say. Name of school, name of kids, nothing, because that's fucked up. Alright. Anyway. Thank you for watching. If you want to see something like this again, whether it's reacting to TikToks or Instagram or anything else gay, let me know. If you want to hear my opinions on any other things, the only thing I will say, I'm probably not going to go into much politics on this channel, because one, a lot of it doesn't actually, like, I can't speak on it much, because I'm 16 and Australian, and not a lot of politics stuff is going around with queer and trans people in Australia at the moment, luckily. Obviously that might change in the future, we don't know. But my hair is hating me right now. But anybody got questions, or if you wanted to send me a link to something, my Instagram is always in my description, along with all my other socials and everything. I've got a Patreon if you want to check that out. It's just got some... Oh, crap. My voice is dying. Got some extra content, and sometimes I'll just post on there. So, check all that stuff out if you can. It's $3 Australian. I think it's like $1.50 US dollars to join the Patreon. Every month, I believe, or a week. I can't remember. I will check and then add it on the screen here-ish. check out my music. I've got a few cool songs, and I will be posting a few more cool songs soon, hopefully before Christmas. I've got one on TikTok that I've recently posted, as of recording, it was yesterday, about 24 hours ago. Actually, I think it was less than that. I don't even think I wrote it 24 hours ago. Yeah, so check all that stuff out if you want, or go watch somebody else's videos. I suggest No Offense if you like content like this, or you can check out any other creator. No Offense is a great creator though. I like his music especially. Anyway, I'm gonna stop fanboying over people. Thanks for watching. Go watch something else, or go touch some grass even. Don't be a dick to people online, or I will come find you. And also, you, specifically you, are not subscribed. Everyone else is. You were the only one who's not subscribed. It's free. Hit the button. It's a cool red button. What else could you want? It is just a really cool shiny red button. I bet you want to press it. I bet you really want to press it right now. Actually, no, don't press the button. You're not allowed to. Alright, bye.